Hey, good morning. Over here is good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Bagley. So today I want to talk to you about my and Mayo's relationship, but my point of view, where I'm coming from. A lot of you already know that my wife passed away in November. Excuse me. And so, so why and how is it that I've gotten from that point of mourning and going through into the point of now announcing a new relationship? And so I wanted to share with you and use what I've done, and hopefully it can help someone else go through the process, if you will. Not to say it's going to be as easy or not, but a little bit helps, right? Okay. The very first thing that I want everyone to realize is when you go from a bad relationship, when you go from, in my case, a death, you have to take time. But after you get to that point of mourning and taking time, you really have to look in the mirror, okay? There are certain things that you, at that moment, you have to accept. Like, what is it that I'm willing to accept? What is it that I can't handle? And so you have to take account of that, right? So this is the first part here, is to know what you want, okay? So when I took account of myself, I looked in the mirror and I said, okay, what is it that I know that I don't want, I can't handle right now in my life? And let's just move on. So I made a list. Okay, so the very first one is no children and someone who's never been married. It is not the idea that I couldn't be a step parent to someone. It's not that. It's the idea that in my time in my life right now, I don't think psychologically or mentally or physically I'm willing or wanting someone to take care of someone who has a child or children, right? And someone who's not married. Now, again, it's just the idea that do I really want to deal with that extra baggage, and let's call it baggage, right? That extra baggage that someone has gone through with being married, been through divorce, and so on and so on, okay? So that was my first criteria from within my list. The second one is you had to work. So I didn't care what you did for work, you just had to work. You have to be someone who worked. Next one is education. You had to go to school. You had to at least minimally have a bachelor's degree. Okay. The next one is the type of woman. Okay. The type of woman is, for me at this moment in my time, I want someone who's all natural. I don't want someone who has false breasts, hips and butts and tattoos on their eyebrows and eyelashes and extensions and any of those things. I just wanted someone who's just absolutely natural for who they are, for what God created them, and that's it. And so natural. Now, so that's the type, the kind of woman. I needed someone who is a nurturer. I wasn't looking for someone who was to be strong and independent. I've come through something, and so I want someone, or was looking for somebody who is a nurturer to me. It's not that they're not independent. It's not that they're not a strong woman. It's their demeanor of how they are when it comes to a relationship, and that relationship being a nurturing relationship. Okay. I didn't look for, age wasn't an issue. It was just the mindset of the maturity of the person. Okay. When you talk about a nurturing, when you talk about it, somebody who's educated, when you talk about somebody who's working, that age position is very wide. So in context, I just needed someone who was mature enough, who knew what she wanted, meaning to be in a relationship, a committed relationship, someone who wasn't really to play around. I needed somebody to be there. So the age of themselves, they had to be a mature type age. And we all know in the child developing stages that a 12-year-old, for an example, a 12-year-old is more mature than a 12-year-old boy. Okay, so that maturity is already extended. It's just, okay, how do we fit the rest of this stuff? So that was, maturity is one of the things, and not age wasn't the issue. And then, of course, beautiful. You know, the way I look at beauty is you have to be pleasing on the outside. Now, when I say beauty, I'm not talking about sexuality. I'm talking about beauty, natural beauty. She has to be a natural beauty without the sexuality, because all women are sexy, but not all women are beautiful. And again, not all women are beautiful to me. Every woman has a man who likes you. I'm just saying for me. So she had to be beautiful for me. Okay, so I got my list. And again, this list is constructed for where I'm at right now at this time in my life. If I had a list 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever years ago, that list should have been thrown away, because I went through, in my case, a death. And so now going through that mourning position, I can now say this is where I'm at right now. Okay, so now I got this list. So what's next? What did I do next? I started looking. Where do I look? Okay. Social media is a global community. Okay. When we talk about social media as a community, you have to think about it in context. Now, when I was young, the community was as far as the ratio of the neighborhood that I grew up in. And then from there, it was the bus and the car ratio, right? And so it grew out, the bubble grew out from the ratio of my friends or my community. Then from there, it grew out to the state, and then technology came, and technology, I can go from continent to another continent, and I can examine every type of woman that is out there, okay? So I had to narrow it down. Now, looking at the beauty, looking at the mindset of maturity, looking at the kindness or the kind, how they were raised to be a nurturer, educated, work, and no children, no marry. Majority of that, where can I go to find that outline or of a woman, right? And so I knew it wasn't in the United States. I just knew that, and I knew it wasn't in the Middle Eastern, and I knew it wasn't in the African continent. I knew it wasn't Australia. So it was ultimately, I went into that South Asia position, like Thailand, Laos, and mostly Thailand and Laos. Laos, if you ask me, is probably the most nurturing type woman. Now, again, when I say nurturing, do not confuse of submission. I don't think there is any women in this entire world that will be a submissive type woman, or should be a submissive type woman to a man, right? You can't be a submissive type woman, because even in Proverbs 31, the woman wasn't submissive. She had her own. She does her own. She's very independent within herself. But when she comes to a relationship, she's a nurturer. She takes care of her family. So I went on social media, and so looking for within the community, I looked around, and so Thailand and Laos was the top 2 areas, and then we can go from there. And in this, being in the social media, and the first thing I needed to know is I had to understand the game. When we talk about Thailand, when we talk about Laos, Cambodia, and Philippines, and so on, we have to talk about the game. And the game is there are a lot of players out there. There's a lot of scammers out there, but there's also a lot of good women out there. So I had to really understand and play the game as it was to cipher through those who are scamming or playing for those who are real. Okay. So once you understand that, you can actually examine all of that. You can actually examine all of them, look at their pictures. If they have a description of themselves, if they don't have a description, move on. If they have a picture and they look too sexy for you, move on. Because again, I'm not looking for sex. There is nothing on my list that says sexy. Yes, I'm anticipating a relationship, but it has nothing to do with sexy. So I'm not looking for sexy. So swipe from sexy. So if they have a description, then they have a description and they have a picture, but the picture and the description doesn't match, swipe. You had to have a picture that's elegant, sophisticated. It's you without the sexiness. And then the description of you had to match what I see. And so therefore I pinged a few ladies. And in pinging them, that's how I found, or I just saw, and then I pinged Mario. And so in this, I'm just looking at my notes again. And so in this, I asked her to contact me. She says, here's my number. And we started talking. And right away, one of the things that I liked about her is let's do a FaceTime, because FaceTime tells the truth, right? And so we started talking on FaceTime. And then from FaceTime, every day we've been talking before and after her work and my work. And so, so that's how we are, and that's where we are. So from my list, going on social media, finding somebody with certain qualities, the next thing that I'm trying to do is build. Okay, what am I building? Okay, when I'm building, the very first thing is trust. You have to build trust. I don't believe in this time and day. You need to bring faith and hope into this thing we're doing when we're trying to find somebody. And the reason I don't think we need to bring hope and faith in this position is I'm not trying to hope for anything. I'm trying to check off some of my list here. That's not hope for. That's me checking off some list. And then when you build a trust, you're trying to now take it from the outside of a person and start looking at the inside of a person. Are they trustworthy? Do they say what they need to say, and so on? Are they in a position to not fool you or be honest with you all the way through the process of everyday talking, right? So you have to build trust. Then after building trust, then I believe we build respect. Okay? Do you respect me when I have a meeting and I can't talk to you? Do you respect me and if you are having a bad day or I'm having a bad day, and so on and so on? So we respect one another. We're building that. And then the last part is, the third part is we're building a relationship. Now, what I mean by relationship, that's when we actually come together, when we actually touch, right? Because I believe, and this is just my belief, but I believe you have to build trust and respect before you should build a relationship, meaning when you guys touch each other. And if you can't take time, if you don't take time to build trust and build respect, what good is the relationship? So my point to that is this: when you're building, there's no hope in this position. It's, can you and that person work together, enhance one another? Can you guys come together and compromise one another? And can she do the role of nurture? Can I do the role of providing, taking care of her and the family, and so on? And so that's the stage that we're in right now. And so, yeah, it's been a nice journey. It's been a fast journey. I didn't anticipate finding someone this fast, quite honestly. I thought I was going to be playing this stupid game for a while, but so she was the very first one I pinged out of all of the ones I did. She's the first one that responded, and she's the only one that I'm talking to in this position. And I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying what we have in common, what we don't have in common, what I have to offer and what she has to offer. And we're building trust, we're building respect, we're building. And then soon we'll get together. I'm waiting on some things right now, but soon we'll get together and we'll take it from that. And so day by day, you're in something. You're in a committed boyfriend girlfriend. You're in a relationship, building the relationship, if you will. But keep in mind, keep the hope. You hoping for something, keep that out. You hope that this works out. No, we don't hope for nothing. I just don't see it. I'm not hoping for something, because if you hope for something, you might miss a couple of those red flags. Okay? So I just, let me look real quick. Yes, so this is the journey that I've taken. This is the position that I've taken when it came to Milo. And this is where we're at right now. She is a awesome woman. Yes, she's a little younger than I am. Okay, so, but she's an awesome woman. She's got a good head on herself, educated, working hard every single day. And I can verify all of that because like I said, we FaceTime in the morning, in the evening, and we're doing our thing. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to bring this, guys, to you guys to let you know that this is how I did it, and just by luck that's how we met. And I'm enjoying it. And so, yeah. So thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I think I'll call it a day. Get to work. And again, thank you. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.